These are the new iPads announced just a week ago by Apple at a virtual event, but also a physical event in Shanghai, New York, and I was in London. This is the new iPad Air in a larger size, and the brand new iPad Pro. Now, that is going to be something to behold. Skinnier, more performance than we've seen in an iPad or any tablet device, frankly. But broadly here, we have some great new devices. So let's have a look at what's inside the box. And is there anything different or anything missing? All right, so we'll kick it off with the iPad Air here. So this is your standard size iPad Air. This is the 11-inch. Now this is a Wi-Fi and cellular version, 512 gigabytes, but it doesn't matter because those are internals. All the iPads are now eSIM enabled, so you won't notice any real difference between the Wi-Fi and the cellular versions. Standard Apple unboxing joy. Very nice. And lifting off. Just the excitement of a new device is always fun. All right, what do we got? Oh, I didn't even check what color it was. The blue. This is a much, you're not going to be able to really tell the color there. Just in that angle, maybe you see it. It's a much lighter blue than the previous iPad Air, I think. And it's a much less radical blue than, for example, we had with the 10th gen iPad. So inside the box here, we also have charging brick covered in its normal Apple paper and a C2C cable. I don't normally take those out because I've got to send them back at some point and I've got plenty of charging bricks around. So no need these days to even remove those from the box. It's quite a thick booklet kind of holder here, but weirdly, I don't know if you can see that here. So it's a thick cardboard bottom and a thin cardboard top. I don't really see any reason why. There's nothing else in there. It's just, oh, in fact, it's very slim. Just a couple of bits of paper. And, hello, where are my Apple stickers? Oh no, have we gone so green that we can't use stickers anymore? Wow. It's a weird thing because every Apple product has had those stickers in them. And I think I've only ever stuck one on a cupboard in my office, but I mean, they probably are a bit of a waste. So, sad day that it's all over. So really simple, welcome to iPad Air instructions. I mean, if it is your first device, there's not much more you need to know other than to turn it on. Now, I'm guessing every single one of these devices is going to have the same contents. And while we're here, let's bring out the digital measure and let's get a little quick sense of the size of this thing. Let's make sure it's at 0. That is exactly as the specs would require, although, you know, I guess they could get it wrong, but we should also say that that thickness doesn't include the camera bump, and that, I guess, foreshadows the situation with the Pro as well. Let's boot that up while we have a look at its big brother, the iPad Air 13-inch. Now let's just have a quick look. Yeah, it's the same deal here. And I'm tipping same deal in there. Yep, everything the same. And this one, as you can see, is purple. Again, it's such a subtle color. Like, it doesn't feel at all like a flamboyant purple, shall we say. I think it's a very usable purple, no matter who wants it. I like it. I like it a lot. Just out of curiosity, because I haven't checked the specs, but where does this one sit on a scale? 6.09, so let's call it 6.1. Anyway, now this is a really big, important product for Apple because they said, and it's very rare for them to give this kind of information, they said that in the Pro, the 13-inch, the larger model, is around 50% of sales. So if in the most expensive iPad, there's a demand for this large screen, why not bring it down the range? And given they also said that the iPad Air is the place where the best technology comes down from the Pro, makes sense that a larger version comes down as well. Now, without, I won't set them up immediately, but without going into a great amount of detail, the one thing we can see here is, and you won't be able to see it, but I can see the camera nodule, camera lens is in the center now of the landscape side, because the majority of people doing any sort of video conferencing, video anything, are doing it this way. I'm just going to say, I wonder if I can turn it this way and get the, the bar at the bottom of your screen. So the bar at the bottom of your screen that shows you, that you can swipe up and such, is a very clear indicator of the center of the screen. So let's just roughly say that's the center. This is going to annoy some people with OCD, but the camera is off-centered. Now, I've got no doubt that that's actually because the Face ID sensor is also there, but I think they should have moved the Face ID sensor off center and put the camera in the center. It's a bit weird. I mean, I don't think you notice it sitting using it, but I think people will notice. I think people would definitely notice. Let's take a look at the beast, the iPad Pro for 2024. Now, they don't give them a generational number in these days, but it's just the iPad Pro because the old ones will go out of stock. But this is the 13-inch M4. So the way of knowing you've got an iPad Pro from 2024 is that it says M4 on the box, that being the Apple Silicon that is now pioneered in this. Now this one starts in Australia at around $16.99 and could go into the $4,000 mark if you spec it up with all the bits and bobs. This is the 1 terabyte version, so it'd sit a bit below that, I would suggest. Now, do we get any of those cool additions in here? No, it's all the same. Just the brochure, just the terms and conditions, no stickers. Now, I think it's remarkable that, and it's not it's not spoken about much, but there's something missing here. There's a camera missing. So while that might look like 2 cameras, it's actually the main wide camera and then the LiDAR sensor along with the other sensors and flashes and TrueTone and all that they have. I have no problem with that because I don't need to be doing ultra-wide photography or video on an iPad Pro. That's just my observation. Now this thing, wow, this thing is unbelievably thin. I mean, this is the thinnest Apple product ever made. Let's center this little beauty. Let's clip it on. And that is a 5 point, I'm getting 5 point, look at that, 5.10. 5.1 mil. Now, Samsung's Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra, I think, is in the 5s. It might be 5.7. And this does have that vibe to it because they really did go thin and simple with that Samsung. But like the thing is, the USB port on this really is what's dictating how thick this thing can be. There are USB cords. In fact, let's just have a little squeeze. When we use the USB cord from the box, I hate unboxing the cords because I don't use them. But I think if we plug that in, oh, they've just got it so that the USB cord is just thinner than the iPad itself. 4.5, 4.56-ish. So maybe even less now that I do it from a different angle. 4.3. So there's still room to move if they want the iPad to be even thinner. But there are USB cords you have in your collection that will be thicker than the iPad Pro. The weight of this thing and the the thin nature of it, just remarkable. I think you'd be mad to not have a Magic Keyboard. If you're going to spend this much money on an iPad, you may as well get the keyboard as well. Now, this is the brand new Magic Keyboard. And I'll tell you right now, the way you tell the difference between this new generation Magic Keyboard and the last, let's just take out the cardboard packing. All right, down there, put that away. The way you tell the difference is actually here in the side charging port, or this little kind of hinge. The hinge that you would have to obviously open up on, it goes that way. The hinge here is an oval shape for this new generation, whereas before it was a circle. That's about the only obvious exterior way of telling. And then this new trackpad obviously is very different, and that would be the way you'd notice the usability difference is probably this glass edge trackpad. It's just a different feel. Keyboard's quite nice as well, but that is probably the most common way you will see an iPad Pro held is in a Magic Keyboard, because frankly, you really can do most of what you want to do with just this. And here's a funny thing to look at. How much space are we taking up by going into this? 13.4, let's call it 13.4. More than double the thickness of the iPad Pro being utilized when you go to the Magic Keyboard, which itself is phenomenal. So we'll review all of these iPads in the days ahead, but I want to show you one other thing about the Apple Pencil Pro. I think you're going to love this if you're an Apple fan and if you're a fan of boxes. All right, so nothing sensational here to see, right? Apple Pencil Pro. I've got 3 boxes, I've got 3 pencils, 1 for each iPad. But look at the cases, and they're all different. And I can't tell you how many there are. Each of them has Pro inscribed on them, designed obviously by someone with the Apple Pencil Pro using barrel tilt and all those things. But I gotta tell you, I like this. I like this design, I like this look. And I think what's fascinating about it is, I can't tell you how many different designs there are. I will find that out in the days ahead, but very, very interesting. Nice, new, fresh way of approaching that. And we'll open all these, we'll play with all these, and we'll get to them with full reviews at EFTM.com.